Okay, welcome Junkheads to another video post, blog post for forexpipjunkie.com. One of the questions we get a lot is fractals. They look so great on the charts. How do I use them? How do you make money from these? I think fractals are probably one of the most misunderstood indicators. It comes standard with the MT4 platform and should probably be used differently. I think if people understood them better, they'd be able to make more money. And that's really what we do. We trade money to make money. So at the end of this, we're going to do a series of videos. You'll have a free fractal EA that you can use to make money. A couple of points before we get started. This is not a set and forget expert advisor. I do use it with manual confirmation while I'm trading. If I make 10 trades in a day, probably 2 or 3 will come from this expert advisor. It'll give me an option for more trades. However, again, with technical analysis, decide which ones are good and which aren't. So therefore, you have to use it at your own risk. We don't make any claims to profitability. It's simply a tool for you to use. SM Jones wrote at our request. There are 2 versions of it. One has a bunch of filters added to it, which we've actually added to. We don't give that one away free, but you'll get everything you need in this expert advisor. The indicators used are either standard or the author is noted within the code. Again, we do have some custom indicators that we didn't program that are on the site, but which are freely available just about anywhere as far as forums go. So we do note the author's name. We don't offer support on this. Again, it's a free expert advisor. There's about as much support as you can get in the forums and on the website. So please don't email us with a bunch of questions about it, because we just won't be able to get to it with all the other emails that we do get. I do use this again every day to make money. Again, if I make 10 trades, 2 or 3 will likely, and sometimes more, will come from this expert advisor, and it saves me a whole lot of time staring at the charts. It's not a substitute for good technical trading. You still have to know how to draw a trend line and a price projection. If you don't know how to do that, please stop right now and go to that post calling predicting profit with a question mark. And we are also only going to be talking about the EA fractals and how to use it. This isn't an all-in-one encompassing video on how to trade completely. Okay. The setup you need, MT4 meta quotes. So before we get a bunch of emails saying it doesn't work on my platform, your broker either needs to be using MT4, or it's also called meta quote software, which is, I think, probably the most popular amongst retail traders. If your broker doesn't use it, you're interested in this, just open a free dummy account with the broker that does use MT4. Indicators we'll be using eventually, price channel stop will be added. That's a custom indicator. Fractals, the price channel stop is available on our free expert advisors and indicators page. Fractals, accelerator, and awesome oscillator are all standard indicators. Any custom indicators that if we have time to get to them later on in another video of this series, then they will also be mentioned and where you can get them. Okay, what we're going to cover, we've broken it up. We're going to break this up into several videos for the simple reason a lot of you have been emailing asking to have the videos available on YouTube. So we're starting to do that. However, YouTube has a policy that the videos can't extend 10 minutes in length, and you guys know I like to ramble on for longer than that. So we've had to break them up into several videos. And again, as always, we'll be using plain English as much as possible. A lot of new traders are watching these videos, and we don't want them to get confused and sidetracked with technical mumbo jumbo that they'll figure out on their, eventually. In the first video, we're going to be talking about fractals and how I use them every day in trading, again, to minimize my risk. We all know that when you minimize your risk and you're confident with it, you can therefore trade more lots, make more money. We can see how it can confirm a trend, but I usually use it for a reversal point. However, there is a way that you can see that fractals can confirm a trend. And we are going to talk about, we're going to dispel a couple of myths about fractals. One is the repainting issue. They don't repaint. We will get to that in this video. And then we'll just be about out of time for this video, and we'll move on to the next. So let's get to the charts. Let's have a look at these fractals here. You can see them appearing. Looks like they're a perfect indicator. However, this fractal will appear at the open of this candle. And the reason being, just follow my mouse over to this fractal here. This is indicating that this candle here next to the fractal has a lower high and close than this candle, okay, which is really just a reversal candle formation, but the fractal is telling you that that has happened. So at the open of this candle, this fractal will appear. Now, people have asked us to reprogram or alter fractals so that they appear in the same bar. It doesn't really work. Plus, we'll get to it eventually, but this fractal will now become your stop loss. Okay, let's move on to the next. Here again is the candle where this fractal will appear. For me, that indicates a stop loss. One thing that we should point out is there's a couple of I think even paid for expert advisors out there that will tell you that a fractal indicates a trend, some sort of trend break or extension. I mean, you can look at it that way, and we will show you how to do that eventually, but really what I use fractals for are possible reversal points, just to give you, you know, this one looks like it, hey, that was a great trade. It's right about around the London Open in February of 2010. Of course, that this looks like it was right, but this one was more right. So people who use that, if you just follow my mouse over here, you can see a possible reversal point. It didn't, so your stop would be here. If you saw that, you could possibly get into a buy. We'll get into that in a couple more videos, but I want to first talk about the repainting issue. Repainting, when an indicator repaints, it's basically bogus, because what it does is it'll, as soon as you turn on your charts, it'll look like it's got every potential reversal point done perfectly, but if you leave it running for a bit, you'll get a bunch of mixed signals, and it's really just an ineffective, bogus indicator. Why fractals don't repaint, I'm going to show you, and please, we're going to focus in right here on these three candles. If I go up, I'll just I'll go up one just to show you where that is, which is right here. So same day that we're talking about. Okay, so if we look at this candle here, it has a higher low and close than the previous candle. That means that at the open of this candle here, there should be a fractal right here that looks just like that. As you can see, again, higher low and close, and then this opens you know, higher than this point here, the lowest point on this candle. However, it disappears. There we go, higher low and close. It disappears because the candle where the fractal actually appeared has now exceeded the lowest point of this candle. So it's not actually repainting the fractal. It's saying, I've given you a signal that this is a possible reversal point because of this candle formation, and it's done so at the open of this candle. However, because price then went past the fractal point, the fractal disappears and says, oh, I was wrong, sorry about that, and so you won't see it on the charts. And people have called that repainting. It's not repainting, it's just simply doing its job. If you're really worried about it, we did find something called T-Fractal, which is available on our download page of custom indicators that you can use, and it will not disappear in this situation. It doesn't bother me much, but some people, it tends to bother them. So we're going to have to end the video now because we're getting close to our 10-minute time frame, so we will see you on the next